Hey my loves, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Natasha Morrison and I am a women's life coach. I focus on relationships, womanhood, finances, femininity mostly, just becoming that girl, becoming the woman you envision yourself being. I wanted to start this series called The Transitioning Woman, and my whole channel focuses on that because I feel as though there's YouTube channels out there like Anna Bay that really focuses on being this super elegant woman and being this super refined woman, and you know, dressing a certain way, talking a certain way, wearing designer things, and all of these really elegant, classy, upper class things, which I mean we all are trying to get there. Well, not all of us, but I'd like to think that in my tribe you ladies are trying to get there, but you're not quite there yet. You wasn't born into the riches. You're trying to figure it out, but you're not the woman you used to be. You wasn't as reserved, you wasn't as mysterious, you were someone who just dressed very provocatively, you acted very sexual, you was, I don't know, you were just always there. I don't know, you were just very loud, or you know, the clothes that you wore just was very young, and you're not that person anymore. You know, you're trying to transition into the woman you want to be. You're trying to transition into that girl, that woman, and you're in this middle phase. And this middle phase, I feel as if this is where so many things happen, so many changes happen, and it can be a very challenging phase to be in on this journey. So many ups and downs, and I also want to say that this is a whole journey. It's a life journey. You're forever changing, you are forever growing, and even in 5-10 years time, this woman you're going to plan and work towards becoming, you are gonna be different then. You are gonna have different expectations, different goals. The goalpost keeps moving. So whoever you see yourself becoming, remember that you're gonna consistently be evolving, consistently changing. So don't feel that you need to box yourself in, because there is no box. You're always growing, you're always changing, and we're just trying to get you into the next phase. So then once you get there, you can focus on getting to the next level. Maybe the next level might be the Anna Bay level, or that super elegant, super classy woman. But right now you're transitioning, you're working your way there, but you're not quite there yet. Before we get into this video, make sure you comment down below. Let me know, what phase are you in? Are you also in this transitional phase? Are you in the phase before you don't really know where to start? You are where maybe you're right at the end. I don't really know. Let me know in the comment section down below. Give this video a massive thumbs up. But let's get into the 5 ways in which you can start developing that woman, start becoming that woman, start embodying that woman that you want to be. And use this plan, get a pen and paper, write it down on your phone, and just fill these things out. Start thinking about these things, and this will definitely set you on the right path to become the woman that you've always wanted to be. So the first thing that you want to do is start making a plan for the year. Start setting goals for the years, targets that you want to achieve, and then just narrowing them down and kind of breaking them down into bits and pieces of how you're going to get there. Maybe you might want to post 12 videos on YouTube in a year, and that means posting 1 video a month. How are you going to get those 1 video a month out on YouTube? Or maybe you want to read 24 books by the end of this year. So you decide you're going to read 2 books a month, and by the end of the year you would have hit your target of reading 24 books a year. So it's just breaking down those goals, because it's good to have like these big, amazing, long-term goals, but it's about, how am I going to take steps into actually achieving these goals? How am I going to start working my way in that direction by taking baby steps? Because that's what it's about. It's about taking 1 step at a time and working your way in that direction to get to that end goal. And then also remember that once you get to that end goal, the goalpost is going to move further along. But how are you going to get there first to then move that goalpost further along? So firstly, you need to start off by having a goal. Have a goal for your life. You know, how do you want your life to be? You know, what type of house do you see yourself living in? What type of woman do you see yourself being? How does she walk? How does she talk? All of these things. Have these long-term goals. What are your career aspirations? Maybe you want to go get a new job and this is the job that you want. How are you going to go about getting that job? Do you need to go study a course, you know, get a qualification? Do you need to do some work experience? Do you need to maybe start doing certain things in your current job to elevate your CV or your resume so that you can put that down on your CV or resume saying that you've done that, you've accomplished that in your current job, so that you're the ideal candidate when you go for this new job that you want to go for? So just having like big goals and then narrowing them down. The next thing that you want to do is have monthly goals or monthly targets. So have monthly targets for yourself on the things that you want to achieve, and this can be in different aspects of your life. Maybe it's in your career, it could be in your personal life, it can be in your finances. There's so many different areas to cover that I can't go over it right now in a video, but maybe just have an overview of that monthly goal of what you want to do. Pick an area in your life that you want to work on, whether it's your relationship or your finances or just you in general, and you write down those monthly goals. Maybe you want to start meditating, you know, and that month you say you want to meditate at least 10 times in that month, and then you want to then narrow that down even further into a weekly plan. So now you want to have a weekly plan of how you're going to achieve these goals on a weekly basis. Maybe you're going to fit meditating in the morning once you start your morning routine, and you're going to meditate for 15 minutes, or maybe you start off by meditating for 5 minutes to 10 minutes or then 15 minutes, and then just keep increasing the time as you go on. Or maybe it'll be in your nighttime routine, or maybe you want to start jogging and you're going to fit time into your weekly schedule to jog, because at the end of the month you want to have jogged a certain amount of miles, and you're just going to start doing that by implementing that into your weekly schedule. Okay, so I don't know about you, but for me personally, I have to plan everything. I have to plan my days, I have to plan my year, and then I break that down into quarters, and then after that I break it down into that month, and then I break it down into that week, and then I break it down into that day. And how I like to do this is I have my Google Calendar, which is my life. It's my holy grail, and I can do a video showing you guys how I plan myself and schedule myself using my calendar. And this was a habit that I learned from counseling. My therapist said to me, plan your days, because what I kept doing was I kept procrastinating. I'm someone who procrastinates. I cannot lie to you. I procrastinate so much. And I came to realize that the times where I was the most productive and I got most of my work done, and I was on target, and I was really working towards my goals, and I was very motivated, and I also felt better. I felt better during these times was the times when I planned my life, where I had a schedule where I said I'm going to do this, and this. And then one thing that counseling taught me was not to overdo it. I used to be one of those people that tried to do 101 things in one day, and I didn't time block. And now I do time blocking, where I block off certain times to do certain things. I used to also do this thing where I say, okay, I'm gonna read a book and I want to get to page 300, and I'm giving myself 2 hours to do that. When you kind of process things in that way, you kind of set yourself up to fail, because you've given yourself 2 hours and you've also said you want to read to page 300, or let's say page 30. You want to read 30 pages in, okay, that's not realistic. Let's say you want to read to page 200 pages in an hour. Now, what you've done is you've set yourself this unrealistic expectation, because you might get distracted, and now if you get to page say 150 and not page 200 and that hour runs out, you start to feel demotivated, you start to feel really down on yourself, you start to feel really sad and disappointed, because you set yourself this target, this goal, and you didn't achieve it. And that's because you set yourself such strict target. Whereas if you said, okay, I'm going to give myself an hour to read this book, and wherever I get to in this book, I get to in this book, and I'm just going to keep it moving. I'm going to film, or I'm going to create content in the space of 3 hours, and I'm just giving myself 3 hours to create content. Whatever content you create in that 3 hours, you'll be proud of yourself because you've done it. Whereas if you said, I'm going to film X, Y, and Z amount of videos, I'm going to do this, this, and this in that time, you're setting yourself up for failure, because if you don't actually achieve that, you then affect your subconscious mind, and you then start to feel as if you failed yourself. You feel as if you haven't used your time productively, and it just has a negative effect on you. So I would say plan your days, be realistic with your days. Like I said, I use Google Calendar. I also have a physical diary that I do for day to day, so I can literally have it there and I can look at my diary and I can see, okay, this is what I'm doing today. I have it on my phone as well, because we always have our phone. You always have your phone in your hands, you're always going out, so it's good to have it on your phone, then also have it written down somewhere in an actual physical diary where you can actually keep up with it. And I've just found that I'm so much more productive when I operate like that, when I have long-term goals, quarterly goals, monthly goals, and then weekly goals and daily goals. I know it sounds like a lot, but once you get into that routine and that habit of creating all of these things and just putting time aside to plan yourself, you will be so much more productive. And it's not about working harder, it's working smarter, if that makes sense. Okay, so the third thing that I love to do, and the third thing that will really help you on your glow up journey, is to have a morning routine and a nighttime routine. I have a job where I work different hours and I do shift work, so it's not really realistic for me to have the same schedule all the time, because every week my week changes. But I try to adjust my calendar and adjust my weekly plans to fit around the times that I have work. This week, for instance, my morning routine, I wake up at 7 o'clock and I give myself 3 hours to like get some things done. So whether that's to meditate, to read a book, to do my morning, I have this app called Elevate. I love Elevate so much. I like to start my morning on a high. I like to start my morning learning something and educating myself. So I normally play like trivia games or go on Elevate and do little quizzes, and I do that for about half an hour, 45 minutes, just to kind of get my brain working, active, and just starting my day off on a positive note, learning something as well, challenging myself as well. And then I'll listen to like podcasts, and like that also helps motivate me and encourage me for the day. And then I'll meditate, then I might go have breakfast, come back down, shower, do my skincare routine. But like I said, because I have such different schedule for work, that morning routine changes, but I still leave that time somewhere. Maybe I might wake up a little bit later or wake up a little bit earlier, but I always block out that time to have a morning time routine. And then having a nighttime routine. Sometimes I don't have a nighttime routine because I finish work so late, I get home, I just want to sleep. But on the days where I can have like a decent nighttime routine, I might do certain things in the night to just unwind, like light candles, listen to some jazz music, or just white noise kind of music, just to kind of relax me and calm me down, have like a really long steamy shower. These are the little things that I do really slowly, just to kind of unwind and prepare myself for bed. So I definitely say have that time for yourself where it's like self-care, a morning time routine or a nighttime routine. It could be either or both, and just fit that around your schedule. That helps so much to kind of prepare you for that morning, for that day, and it just gets you in a really good headspace before the day started. If you start work really early like I do sometimes, then you might not have a morning routine, but then you have an evening routine where you unwind and get ready for bed. So I'll definitely recommend having those things in place. Okay, so the fourth thing that you want to start implementing in your glow up journey is journaling. I cannot tell you guys how much I love journaling. I started journaling a few years ago and it has changed my life. It has really given me that kind of physical thing that I can look at, and I can look back and read from the beginning of this year and see where I was mentally, emotionally, and just read through what I was saying, the things that was going on in my life. And I can look at my life now and say, wow, like I'm in a better space, or I've grown. I write down the things that I'm grateful for, and that also helps me to look and see, oh wow, these are the things I was grateful for then, these are the things I'm grateful for now. I can manifest things and say these are the things that I want to happen. I can set my intentions and I can look and see if I've achieved it, and it's literally there in written down form, and you're able to go back without having to think about like at the beginning of this year I said that I wanted to do X, Y, and Z. Instead, when you have a journal, it is there, it's written down. You can really you can really just absorb everything, and it helps you to be more grateful, because once you start reading back on certain situations that happened to you, maybe you went for a really bad breakup and you're reading how you felt at that time, and now you're in a better space and you're not feeling that same way about that situation. And don't get me wrong, you might have new problems now, but that problem that you had then is no longer affecting you, and you can look back and reflect and say, you know what, I've grown. And I just really love journaling. You can find online journals, there's spaces where you can write things down online, you can write it down in your notes on your phone, you can get like a physical book and write it down on pen and paper, which is what I have. And I just love to do that because it just allows me to kind of also get everything out of my brain and put it on paper, and then I don't have to worry about certain issues no more. If I'm concerned about something or I'm in a difficult situation, I just write it down and leave it there, and then I can go back to it in a few weeks time or a few months and see if my mindset has changed or if that situation has resolved. And it's just a nice way to kind of keep things up to date and understand where you are on your life journey. One thing I do want to say is that you have to remember that in life you're going to have highs and you're going to have lows. You're going to have times where you're super productive and times where you're not so productive and you procrastinate. You're going to have times where you just can't be bothered, you feel rubbish, you don't feel pretty, you don't feel good, you don't feel confident. We all go through that. Like I said before in previous videos, life isn't a straight road. You know, there's bumps in the roads, there's twists and turns in the road. But if you have a journal and a gratitude diary, you can just kind of see the things that you're grateful for, see how you're growing, and also just understand that, you know, you're human, you're gonna make mistakes. Don't be too hard on yourself. Also learn to like give yourself flowers, and also just applaud yourself, you know, clap for yourself and be your number one cheerleader for yourself, and know that you're just doing all that you can do. One thing I love to say to myself is that you can't worry and have faith. Like, it doesn't go in the same sentence. Like, it doesn't go together. You can't worry and then have hope or believe that your life is going to be great, because then you're worrying. That kind of counteracts what you having faith or you being hopeful or you knowing that you're going to be great. So you just have to kind of allow things to be, put things out in the universe, and allow everything to kind of just come together for the greater good. Okay, so the fifth tip that I have for you guys, which is the most important tip. In my eyes, this is the most important tip, especially for becoming that woman, because that's what we're talking about: glowing up, leveling up, becoming that girl, becoming that woman, transitioning. I think the most important thing that you want to do, all the other things about planning your life and setting goals, and you know, those are like day-to-day things and little things that you can do. One of the most important things that you want to do is to create a plan of that woman that you want to be. So you want to create an alter ego to say. So I have an alter ego. Her name is Chanel Dior, because I love Chanel as a brand, and I also like other brands like YSL, but Chanel YSL didn't go, but Dior went well, so Chanel Dior just seemed like a really good name. So my alter ego is called Chanel Dior. Beyonce has Sasha Fierce, you know, and I'm sure other celebrities and other people have alter egos. So you want to create an alter ego, and you want to decide who that person is. So you want to decide what their fashion is going to be like. How does that person dress? You know, what type of clothes do they wear? What is their color palette in their wardrobe? What kind of shoes do they wear? How do they everything to do with fashion. What kind of textures, what kind of stores do they shop in? Then you want to talk about beauty. What kind of skincare routine does that alter ego have? You know, what products do they use? Do they use drugstore? Do they use a high end? How often do they do these things? Maybe right now you brush your teeth once a day and you want to start brushing your teeth twice a day. Maybe you want to start flossing and that person flosses. Who that woman you're trying to be, how is her fashion? How is her beauty in those two categories? Then the next category you're going to have is mannerism and behavior. How does that person behave? You know, what are their mannerisms? Are they polite? Do they say thank you? Are they kind to other people? Do they open doors for elderly people? Do they help someone walk across the road? You know, how do they behave in public when you go clubbing? Are they on top of the tables, you know, wilding out? Or Are they a little bit more reserved and they have a little good time with their friends and they do a little 1-2 step? How do you behave? What is that person's mannerism? What is that alter ego's mannerism? The next thing is habits. What are certain habits that you want to start doing? So it could be that alter ego always meditates, she always goes for yoga classes, she always goes for a jog, for a cycle in the morning, she always goes to the gym. What are some of the habits that you see your future self doing? What are the things that they enjoy doing? What do they do in their free times? You know, maybe right now you bite your nails, but the woman you want to be, she doesn't bite her nails. You know, she's someone who makes sure that she has a manicure and a pedicure, and those are the things that she really takes pride in. The next thing that you guys want to have a category for is career and relationship. So when it comes to career, what type of person is she? Is she a go-getter? Is she ambitious? Is she business-minded? Is she someone who is working her way up the career ladder? What type of job? You see yourself as a lawyer or a marketing director or the head of HR, and how do they behave at work? What is the environment like for that person when it comes to their career and their dreams and their goals? Are they studying a course? These, I don't know, all these little things to do with a career. These are the things you want to focus on. And then relationships, you know, what is her relationship like, you know, with other people? Does she have clear boundaries? People can't just talk to her any type of way and treat her any type of way because she has clear boundaries. You know, maybe certain relationships with certain people she decides to take herself away from if it's toxic. So these are just areas in which you want to start planning little things out. So I do have one of these plans in my room, and it's on my wardrobe. So every time I look, it's right there in front of me, and I can look at how I want to dress, how I want to behave, the relationships I have, my career goals, and every day I kind of just read that, and it just reinforces the woman that I want to be. So every time I look in my wardrobe, does my wardrobe align with that woman? Does my habits align with that woman? And that alter ego will eventually become who you are. There's nothing wrong with having an alter ego or saying this is who you want to be, creating that persona, and then just making steps in that direction. And sooner or later, you're going to become that person. Before you know it, you'll be looking at that chart and saying, wow, like most of these things I do, like I'm literally Chanel Dior or Sasha Fierce or whoever it may be. You are that person now. You're that living, breathing person, and whoever you was before, you're no longer that person. You're now this new butterfly who's, you was a caterpillar, now you're a butterfly. You've come out of your cocoon and you flourished into the woman you want to be. And now what's the next step? What's the next step that you want to go into? Do you want to be like an Anna Bay? You want to wear maybe Hermes, or you want to be a housewife, or all these other things? I don't really know, but you just have this plan of this woman you want to be, and just take steps in working in that direction. I think is probably the most important tips. These daily habits and these goals will help you like stay on track and work your way in that direction, but it's definitely important to have that overall alter ego, that mood board of the woman you want to be, and really break it down into those categories in your life, and just make steps into that direction. All right, so if you found this video useful, let me know in the comment section down below. If you've made a plan, what is the name of your alter ego? Let me know in the comment section below. If you have an alter ego, what is her name? What are her habits, her relationships, you know, her mannerisms, all of that stuff? Give this video a massive thumbs up, and until my next video, I will see you guys then. So take care. Bye.